Hey, good morning, guys. Just wanted to go over the practice problem from yesterday. Your assignment today is just going to be kind of to review this, watch the video, and just make sure you reach out and ask me any questions if you have any. Okay, so we were given a scenario here about patients during heart surgery, and there was two groups that were randomly divided into one that received something called a beta blocker, and the other received just the placebo. Their pulse rate that was measured during the surgery, and one group stats were 65.2 and 7.8, and for the control group, the one that received the placebo, was 70.3 with a standard deviation of 8.3. We have to make a confidence interval and then do a significance test. So I just wanted to kind of show you and kind of walk through what I did, and specifically on the calculator. So we're going to review today. We'll do another practice on Tuesday. Monday's at day 5, so we won't do anything new on Monday. Tuesday's day 1, we'll review. Wednesday we'll drop, and then we'll have another quiz on Thursday. All right, so you want to make sure that you define what variables you're using here, define the two groups. So I said mu sub 1 because we're dealing with means, not proportions here. So mu sub 1 will be the group that received the beta blocker. The other will be the group that received the placebo. The groups were randomly assigned. They weren't randomly sampled. They were randomly assigned to one of the two treatment or the control groups. Because it's there's that random assignment here, you don't need to check the 10% condition. If you went ahead and did that, I would never take points off for that. Normal large sample, that each group had a sufficiently large enough sample size. It was 30. So sample size wasn't small here. It was good. Next thing we do is we just go right to the calculator. I'm going to open up a new document. All right, so for confidence intervals, it's going to be 6, 6. Now we have two of them here, right? We have two samples. We don't have proportions. It's not 2 prop z interval. It's 2 sample t interval. All right, so if you're writing down the numbers or you want to take note of that, it's 6, 6, 4. We have stats, and I'll go back to that. And we're going to put these numbers in. So we're going to put, for the first group, 65.2 and 7.8. We sampled 30, 70.3, 8.3. They also sampled 30. Make sure you scroll down to just be aware of the confidence level. In this case, we were told 99%. You don't have to worry about this pooled data. Just leave that as no. That's fine. Hit OK. And C lower and C upper. So here we're given our confidence interval. We're given negative 10.639 and positive 0.439. We write the sentence, right? We're 99% confident that this interval captures the true difference in mean pulse rate between the group that received the beta blocker and the one that received the placebo. Okay. Now, if there was a question here that said something like, do we have convincing evidence that there really was a difference? Well, at this point, our answer would be no, we don't have convincing evidence. And the reason for it would be because 0 is included in this interval. Okay. Now, the reason why we don't have evidence in this case is because we're doing so with a 99% confidence interval. Okay. You'll see in the next question here, when we were asked to form our hypotheses, all right, it said, suppose we want to test the hypothesis that the beta blockers reduce. So that was the first group that I made. That was by mu sub 1, the treatment group. Okay, and they reduced the mean pulse rate. So if we were setting up our hypotheses and I laid out mu sub 1 as the group that received the beta blocker, my HA would be less than. This group's pulse rate was less than the group that received just the placebo. The next question just asked me to find the p-value. I didn't have to necessarily carry out the whole test as far as the conditions go. So here I just kind of jumped and I wrote down the p-value. Let's go to the calculator here. This time menu 6, 7. all right, because it's tests and it's a 2-sample t-test, so 6, 7, 4. It's the same stats that we just used. I want to check those. I don't know if I remember them correctly. So let's check those out. 65.2, 7.8, 70.3. Yep, all good. Sample size was 30. Our HA, we said is going to be a less than. We hit OK. And there's that p-value that we want, right? That's the number that we were asked to get. Determine the p-value, and now draw the appropriate conclusion. But this time it was a 5% significance level. Like 5% significance, the data would coincide with a 95% confidence interval. So in this case, our p-value is less than 0.05, so we reject the HO, which means we have convincing evidence that that beta blocker did in fact reduce the mean pulse rate. All right. So at a 5% level of significance, we have convincing enough evidence to say that the beta blocker reduced the mean pulse rate. Okay. So again, guys, make sure you watch this video. Some of you are reporting like some questions with the calculator. Just watch the video, get out your calculator, try to practice it. If something happens the first time, don't get too discouraged, just try it again. But you should see here from watching the video that, which buttons to hit and everything like that. Send me an email if you have questions. Prepare yourself. Like I said, quiz will be next Thursday, which gives us plenty of time. We'll do more practice again on Tuesday. Monday's a day where it's a day that's intended for you guys to catch up and also seek help if you have any. So again, shoot me an email with questions and we'll go from there. All right, guys, hope you have a nice weekend, and make sure you catch up on the notes here and you're ready to go. Talk to you later.